sung in for many, many years, and I've written a lot of original material, which is one of my CDs is called Songs of Angels, and it's all energetically healing. And so I toured that around one of the states in Australia, Victoria, and people would cry, as they went to the concerts, because it would trigger emotional healing and clear emotional blocks and things like that. So that was really a beautiful thing that I was able to participate in, and I just love that so much. But there's different times for different things, and that was back then. And I've still got the songs on my website. People are welcome to go and have a listen, and I've got them available. And now, it's doing different things, but it's funny how different times are for different things. And being creative, I channel my creativity into different areas depending on what I'm guided. And so music's been a big part of my life, and I've got a couple of videos that some filmmakers made of our songs and things like that, which are on my channel. One of them, Stand Strong, and one of them's The Sun Don't Shine Today.
Beautiful.
Hi, Christine.
I just want to, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you this. We had just gone, we just gone live now. And this is why I couldn't figure out why people were saying, I looked up and it's Mercury retrograde, and I've been having one hell of a time with the computers this all week long. So I'm going to stop sharing and come back, and I'm just going to, if nobody knows, this is Medina, right? It's how you pronounce your name, and she is with Arise Humanity. I really apologize about this. I kept seeing things in the chat saying, hey, she's not on here. She's not on here. I'm like, I'm on here. So I hope that you have enough time to kind of go back a little bit. We talked about your paintings. You guys, she's multi-talented. She sings. She's a healer. She paints. She's very creative. And I'm sorry you guys missed the first 10 minutes of it. I didn't realize it. Maybe I'm doing too many interviews at this time. But I'm going to take my time with her. So I want everyone to get to know her, and she has an open invitation to come back, because her energy is just so beautiful, you guys. And I know you're going to pick up on it. So tell us again, one more time, a little bit more about your painting right behind you, the name of the painting.
Sure. Oh, don't stress. That's all good. I got as much time as you need. All good. So the painting is Fireworks, and I just painted it recently, very recently. And to me, it's got the energy of celebration. And I thought that was a really good omen for, what's happening at the moment. And so the painting is an acrylic painting, but I've looked at it at different times, and some of the dots sort of shimmer and sparkle and go in and out. So there's something going on. But my paintings do have lighting coatings and activations in them, and you can order the prints on my website, the PDF prints.
What does it have? It has activations in it? Tell me about this. You can't just skip over that.
How much time do we have? Well, I just ask for my spiritual team to come in and work with what I'm creating, and I go into the divine flow, and I bring it through for whatever is in divine alignment when I'm painting it. And to me, that was the energy that came through, when I had my paintbrushes and I was doing it all. And so the activations are things for example, when you focus on the painting or you meditate on it, it's going to be going in and triggering different things. And
apparently a lot of people know your work here. Christine does. So this is great. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Christine. Thank you. Lots of love to you. So yeah, it just it will do what it is meant to do according to the person, according to their energy and whatever is in divine alignment to work with them. And I also have done some soul paintings as well, where I go into the person's soul and do a painting specifically for their soul, for whatever is. I remember I did one for a lady a little while ago, and she had a lot of fairy energy. And so you could really feel that's that devic, fairy energy, the elemental energy in the painting. It looked very nature nature inspired, and you could feel the lightness of it as well. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I've only known one other person to really say that they go into the soul and they paint, and the work that I saw was, I mean, they definitely are guided in it. So, so how are you doing this? Like a lot of people that I have worked with have gone into the Akashic records and they're accessing this information. It takes a really long time, like a month or two per painting. But what are you just accessing your higher self at this point?
Just accessing my higher self. I did go in as part of every person session that I did, and I hi Ronnie, lots of love. I went in and I accessed the Akashic records to give everyone a soul gift at the time, and I would get incredible soul gifts for people. For example, one that comes to mind is I picked up for one person a swing, like a childhood swing, and that person said that that was their favourite place they would go to when they're young. They would go and sit on a swing and swing. So that was their place, their most sort of deeply resonating spiritual. Peaceful place for them and joyful place for them. So, I would go in and get Akashic gifts for people, but I just really tap into the divine, universal, consciousness, I guess you could say, utilizing the energy of my higher self. I look at a photo of them, get their energy, even if I've spoken to them, or just get an energy from their photo and do it that way. Yeah. Yes, I do sit inside that and meditate the pyramid. It's amazing. The first time I sat in that pyramid, when I actually commissioned someone to make it for me, and it's got sand in it too. So it's got a conductive energy within it, and it's got crystals in the triangular section at the top. And the first time I sat in it, I just swayed like this for like 15 minutes. Like I couldn't stop. It was involuntary. And it was, rebalancing my energy and all that sort of thing. It was incredible. And I've got actually footage of me doing that. And, it was very interesting. But it's very powerful energy. And it's really important, I think, also when you come out of a pyramid to reground your energy. And you also want to make sure that you've got your pyramid facing, I believe it's facing north is the right way, but I have to double check that. But make sure that your pyramid's facing the right way.
So the information I got is that when you were in there swinging like that, is almost like a pendulum, right? And you were,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was fascinating because it was completely involuntary. I was just going like that, and they were big swings as well. So I thought there must have been something that was out of whack, and it's just bringing it back into balance or something.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe it was the position where it was at, and you were balancing it out. So Marion wants to know: is that an easel? I think you just explained what it is.
Well, the pyramid is there for my meditation. And the painting's sitting on a chair, so it's not an easel. Yep. I don't know if that answers the question, but thank you for the question.
Yeah, you did. So a lot of people don't know about the pyramid. So do you want to kind of explain that a little bit? Step back and explain it.
Well, I've got a lot of. I don't know if it really is deeply resonating, especially for my soul, because I have a lot of Egyptian connections. I mean, people that have a lot of Egyptian connections probably would resonate very much with pyramids as well. But maybe all spiritual people that are connected would resonate with it. But what it does when you're working with a pyramid is it's a bit of a higher frequency that you're working with, and it amplifies the energy. So when you go in there and you meditate and you're connecting to, the divine energy and the divine flow, it amplifies that energy. And so it can be, really quite powerful, especially if you're sensitive. And so when you sit in it, you're really accelerating, I think, your spiritual evolution, your progress, because it's doing that. And for me, it has a really good effect on my energy. So yeah, it really works for me. I mean, my little puppy loves it as well, so it's clearly must be a good energy. But yeah.
Yeah. So, as you know, we were like talking 15 minutes on the show and we weren't even live, but I was enjoying the conversation. Do you want to tell everybody, what was your thing, that made you become involved in the social media arena? Because you've obviously have been doing the healing work for a long time. What was the one thing that may have triggered it, or you just decided I need to get my voice heard out there?
Oh, well, thank you for asking, Janine. Well, what happened really was, I was guided to set up a YouTube channel called Arise Humanity to help in the transition process, the evolution of what we're going through now, exposing, the truth, and that there was the narrative of the globalist agenda. And so what happened was I had a small healing centre in country Victoria, a state of Australia, and within a week I got really strong guidance. They said, shut the healing centre down now. And I thought, oh gosh, okay, but you've got to listen to this when it comes through, otherwise you end up regretting it. So I listened, and within a week, and it just flowed unbelievably well. I'd sold everything, and I had it shut down, and where I was renting it, the person I was renting it from agreed. She was very amenable, and I was able to shut it down within a week. And then, boom, the whole pandemic narrative hit, and then I got higher guidance to basically contact everyone that I thought was making a difference in Australia, to try and unify and get people together to spread the word of what was really going on. And one of the ladies that I contacted amazingly had the same list, and she said, let's do this together. So we combined forces and we contacted a lot of these people, and we ended up setting up an admin team and a legal team, and it was called Guardians of Sovereignty, and had an amazing website, and had a brilliant man sending out a newsletter to many people. And we would find areas that we thought were very relevant at the time. For example, when the principals were starting to activate this in schools, we were contacting schools, and whatever was relevant that seemed like the need of the hour, we would motivate and activate, and do something for that. So that went on for about 2 years, and then I felt that creating the awareness, we'd done enough that we could for that, and it sort of had its natural sort of thing where it just sort of wound down a bit. And then now I'm doing other things, that are relevant for the energies now, but that was important for that time. And I felt like we were able to tell a lot of people what was going on in the early days.
Yeah. So that's a long time for you, especially in Australia, to kind of put yourself out there, right? Where now that you know what you know, looking back 2 years ago, and these 2 years, I'm telling you, they're going by so quickly. But when you think about all the work that we have been doing, it just feels like it's been a lot more. And I just never thought that would still be here, 2 years later, talking away about everything. But you know what? We're getting into the, if you will, the expression, the meat and potatoes of everything, because now we heard the lies, and now we're seeing the truth, and now we're going to watch the next phase is we're going to watch these people crumble. This is real exciting. Let's see here. Where was I going with this? I heard a beep or something. And was that on your end or is that my end? Okay.
Your end?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's all kinds of stuff. I have to clear the energy in this room here, to tell you the truth. I go from very heavy, serious, information to more up. I love when I can mix it up, right? My show is a cornucopia of a lot of different things, a lot of different people. And I talk about finance, I talk about energy, I talk about, the truth, and so on and so forth. And I love it. But sometimes it can get overwhelming, and I'm starting to get overwhelming. But tomorrow I don't do any shows, because Friday I reserve for doing readings. And you do readings because somebody said they had a reading with you, and they just loved it. Tell us about your readings.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you, and I just want to give you acknowledgement for everything that you're doing, Janine. It's not always easy, and it can be very exhausting. So, and you have an incredible connection and platform to many people. So I want to honor you for that. So thank you.
Oh,
Um,
thank you so much. It is an international project.
Yeah, that's right. And it's also too about not attaching to timelines, because we don't know exactly how long it could go for. And I'm channeling here, but they're saying that just let go and surrender any sort of feelings of like I'm going to be doing this for this amount of time. It could go longer than what we anticipate, but it's all in the higher scheme of things. It's not a long time, considering how long humanity have been enslaved for. So it's like release all attachment to like, when is this going to be over? Because I know for me, that's important for me to be conscious of, because obviously we all want it to complete. We want to get to the good stuff and the next phase, but who knows how
Yeah.
long it's taken. So very important to surrender and let go of that, and just be able to be as much at peace as we can at all times now, because we don't know how long this will continue for exactly. But your question was, I think it was about what healing do I do? Was that right? Yeah. So it's an evolution of different alternative therapies that I've trained in here in this lifetime. But really, when you get down to it, it's a foundation of things that my soul already has done many lifetimes. So I'm just really remembering things that I've already done before. My name Medina is channeled, and it means medicine woman in a Native American Indian dialect. And so I've always been at a soul level, someone who is like a healer, that sort of thing. So those skills are ones that I've done before, but I've been a Reiki master. I've done full sensory perception healing, Pleiadian light work, where you basically go and you read energetic fields, and then you say, this is coming up, and then it's in priority order, and you work on I don't really like the word healing, but you actually give the person permission or for them to do the healing on themselves, but you're helping them with that. And so then they clear and heal and transmute whatever they need to, and then you give them resources, tools, things that they continue working with, and it creates incredible shifts. And there've been a lot of like miraculous things that have happened thanks to the divine support that is given in these sessions. I just sort of bring it through, and it's really beautiful to be able to work with people on those things and help facilitate their own healing that they do themselves.
Yeah, and it's real important. There's a lot of people out there that say that they're healers, readers, whatever. If you're getting negativity, they're not in the light, because when you're in the light, they are giving you words of encouragement, right? It's basically, you said you don't use the word healing, but you can recognize a particular pattern that they've been playing out in this lifetime, possibly other lifetimes that they pulled in. And so, if you're speaking and you're speaking of love when you're presenting the information, you are channeling the information correctly for you. It just goes back to the old parlor tricks of somebody who's saying, oh, you do this, you do that, or blah blah blah. It's psychology that they're using. It's what everybody else is using. But if you bring it up, the energy's up at a much higher dimension. You know that you're in the light. Your information will be completely different.
And it's about stepping out, of your own ego. Just sort of you actually it's not like you dissolve it, but it's like your ego's not there.
Put it aside. You
created like an open vessel for the divine energy to flow through, and you're in that space of divine love. So it's that ability to step out of that that ego self, I guess, too.
Yeah, it definitely is, and that's how I know that you are in the light. And I just love your energy, and you just have a lot of I don't know, you just carry a lot of love, happiness, jovial about you. And I bet you a lot of people always want to be around you. So,
Oh, that's lovely. Well, I live on an island. So there's not that many people here, but yeah, I really we've got dogs going bananas around me at the minute.
They're hearing your laugh. See, it's your laughter. I'm telling you. And they love it too. So they're laughing with us, right? And so whenever I do, I have an animal communicator, Lydia Hibney, that comes on to the show. Whenever she comes on, I have four fur babies. They all come in. They instantly know that it's her. It's interesting. And, and it also depends too. If it's 4:00 my time, it's their feeding time. And I'll tell you how many interviews I had to cut. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's I think I did this with Dylan Monroe the other day, and he probably got a little upset by it. But when you got a golden retriever just constantly pushing your arm, you're like, okay, I'll get to your dinner.
Oh, they're beautiful. I grew up with golden retrievers. They're such beautiful dogs. They're adorable. In fact, our golden retriever used to go around the neighborhood and pick up things from neighbors and drag them home all the time. And we nearly had to put out a newsletter to all the neighbors just to tell what he brought home.
Yeah. So how is it in Australia now? If you could bring us, you told us what it was like, during the pandemic. What is it like right now? I mean, it's interesting because I think I got a couple of people who write to me. I have a huge following when my channel before it was taken down of Australia, New Zealand, a lot of international, Japan. And I miss all of those people. But what's going on there now? They're talking about a new thing coming out real soon, and I'm telling people to go watch the interview that I did with Dr. Artis, and he's bringing it out in the forefront. But are people still wearing the mask and all that other stuff?
Well, yes, here and there they are, but I think it's more of a personal choice, depending on their own consciousness and their own level of, fear, really, isn't it? Can I say that? But in Australia, we were very, very, as people probably are aware, very locked down. Melbourne was the longest lockdown, I think, on the whole planet. And
was that because of multiple things, not just the COVID, but it was a lot of child trafficking too, right?
Well, yes, that's true. That's the going on underneath, because to me it seems to be becoming more and more obvious that Australia has been such a headquarters for the dark, and Melbourne specifically as well. But also, you've got Pine Gap, you've got all these different places where there have been those nefarious underground places, bases, whatever you want to call them. And so, I think because we are an isolated island in a sense, it has been handy for the dark to have that separate to the rest of the world to do their stuff. And because it's so big and spacious, and, there's a lot of emptiness in the center as well. And so, for various reasons, I think that we have
and they have access to the water with the submarines and all that other stuff. Have you seen that? Can you sense when evil is on its way? I'm serious.
Yeah. Well, for example, Melbourne to me was very, very heavy energetically. I grew up in Melbourne, and very, very dense. And that's one of the reasons I moved up north to Queensland, where I am now, because the energy was becoming more and more oppressive. And this was through the pandemic, very, very heavy. And I had a lady down the street where I lived in Victoria, and, this will blow you away if you haven't heard it. But she was on Facebook, and she put a post out to gather some people together for, a bit of a gathering, against what was happening. And she had police burst in and arrest her. She was a pregnant mum with little kids at home, and they arrested her in front of her children, and she was pregnant and everything. So, she ended up eventually, after a long period of time, I think she's got off this huge, huge fine that she was given. But, I mean, this was just down the road. So you felt like, we were very silenced and censored, because of what was going on. Victoria also is a smart city, and there are a lot of energies in Australia, I find that have been connected to the dark. But, there is also, this sense of it shifting and clearing, and a lot of higher frequency energies coming down, a lot of cosmic energies. There is a sense of awakening happening, but it does seem quite slow here. A lot of people that you talk to still think they're good and are getting more of them, the jabs, and aren't aware of what's going on. So
how, I back when I was younger, I used to bring people in from Australia, and they were about doing the Melchizedek. There was a gentleman out there, I cannot even remember his name, but he came to the United States, and I helped sponsored him. Let me just turn this down here a little bit. I think it is on my end. I always thought that the energies there, some of it's kind of sacred with the Aborigines, if I said it correctly. Is that energy is it still there? Or, you know what I'm saying? I heard about the red rock and everything like that.
yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. In fact, I'm just shooting a documentary I was guided to make with a filmmaker called The New Golden Age. And we actually interviewed a lady who was one of the ladies that helped to, I believe it could have been due to her that the whole Canberra protest happened. Her name was Cindy Roberts. Her Aboriginal name is Megan Barr, and she was guided to go there and do it. And then millions of people, at least 1 million, potentially more, came to Canberra to protest everything that was going on. So I was speaking to her for this documentary, and Uluru is an incredibly important, this red rock you're talking about in Darwin is incredibly important energy for the planet. Mm-hmm. And they consider it to be like the birthplace of spirituality, and that from that point, other things activate around the world from that incredible rock. It's very sacred, very spiritual, and so that is very important. The original people, of course, have apparently the purest cellular, like DNA, bloodline ancestry on the planet, because they go right back to the very beginnings, and so they're very important as well in the awakening, and they've been extremely targeted with these injections and by the dark. But I don't want to focus on the the dark side of things, too much. But on the other hand, there is a sense of the elders. There are some of them that are unifying more and coming together more. So there is the original people. I don't say Aboriginal because Ab is a negation. So original, I say, or the First Nations people is another way of saying it, that they use themselves. But there is also, the government have been trying to roll out a recent thing called The Voice that they say is supporting the original people, and it's quite the reverse. It's trying to take away the fact that they have the sovereign original rights of this land because they were here first. So they're trying to reverse that through The Voice is what I intuitively got, and is what also Cindy was saying, and that they're trying to present it as the opposite, but the truth is they're trying to take away not only the original people's sovereign original claim to Australia in terms of their ability to be the ones that help create what happens here, but they're trying to take it away from everyone else as well. This particular regulation they're trying to push through. So I'm just telling everyone out there that if you haven't researched The Voice, go and look at it more fully, because it's not what it presents. And obviously, if it's coming from government, straight away, alarm bells, question marks, and it's not a good thing at all.
Yeah. I was so amazed back in the 90s, I was reading so much about Australia, and I had planned a trip to go there, believe it or not. And it was all paid for and everything. And something happened. I didn't make the plane. I can't remember what it was, but back then it was like $2,000 from the United States to there. So I don't know what it was like, what it's like to fly out there now. But Yeah, I've heard so much and I've read so many books, and so I have a perspective of it is probably not even half is what you're trying to paint a picture for us about Australia right now. Is Australia healing, you think? Is it healing?
Slowly, there's a slow awareness happening, a slow awakening with people, which is, the 100th monkey syndrome, I think.
Yeah.
It's a very, very beautiful, beautiful place. The beaches are stunning, and there's so many different, scenic variety of places that you can go to that are just incredibly beautiful in terms of the nature and things. We have a lot of beautiful space here. It's that thing that what has happened is the dark have created a certain quality of life so that people are just at a basic level, they have been comfortable, and so they haven't sort of questioned anything. But now with everything that's happening, it's becoming harder and harder. The cost of living here, to buy a house here, there's no way that young people could ever afford it. It's just phenomenal. The cost of buying a house, even food's going up, petrol's going up, the cost of living is hard. There's more and more homelessness, there's less and less rentals. So whatever's happening now, you can look at it two ways. You can look at it as a negative of what's happening, but it's also the positive, because it's creating this shift that we need to happen in order to get to a better world. And so it's pushing this transition forward so that the whole system, collapses, and that we have to rebuild our reality in a different way that serves the greater good, as opposed to this small percentage of elite and above that, all the sort of the reptilian and so forth, interests that are above that, so it serves the greater good, and that we can work in a way that's completely new and co-create a completely different reality based on knowledge that everything that we have been taught is potentially untrue and false. And I just went also to, as part of the documentary, we went to a Tartaria event in New South Wales, and we filmed some of that, which was all about the incredible Tartaria buildings and things that potentially were here even when the original people were here, and beyond. These incredible
Do you believe that the Aborigines knew what was coming, and they just they made the conscious choice to leave? Do you believe that?
Well, I guess so. I mean, everyone really makes a soul choice, a free will choice, to stay or to go. And that's just about trusting the higher plan. It's really hard to understand it from our perspective, because from our perspective, it doesn't look good, and it doesn't seem to serve the collective. But, we just have to trust that everything in that way is in divine alignment. People have free will choices. And
they were very spiritual. They were very spiritual people, right?
They have been, absolutely. They have been very connected to the land and things. But there has been a lot of corruption and a lot of negative influence, obviously, by the authorities, where alcohol's become involved, and different things, and just the lack of acknowledgement of their culture and who they are. I mean, I just would love to learn much more about all their wisdom and their knowledge.
And let me ask you one other question: Is Gesera well known there? Like, like in the United States is in Gesera, and then everywhere else is the global. Is there a lot of hopium around that, or is there a lot of hope? Is it what is your perspective of that?
I think a small percentage of people are aware of Gesera, Gesera, and I think that those people are aware of the white hats, the alliance, and what's happening underneath. But it's certainly probably less prevalent, or less people aware of it here, definitely, than in America or in other places. I think that there is a lot of people that are still asleep here, and I'm wondering if there's a lot of frequency weaponry. For example, when our dear friends went to the Canberra protest, I wasn't able to get there because I was in the middle of stuff at that time, but actually the dark was, was affecting me, my partner, big time with some stuff we were trying to do to help. But anyway, that's another story. But we had friends that were there, and my girlfriend actually nearly died because she was hit with frequency weaponry where she was there, and she ended up having to go to hospital and getting put on oxygen because it sort of sucked all the oxygen out of her body. And so, you know, there is that level of stuff going on. And then there's also, you know, we are the most heavily fluoridated country in the world. Fluoride is, you know, a toxic poison, and it has the ability to make people, you know, dumb them down and make them not think clearly. And
so why do you think that it is most in your country and not any other country?
well, I think that, you know, the dark historically have had a strong hold here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And maybe they're wanting to keep it to they had wanted to keep it to themselves. I mean, it's, as we know, it's shifting, and I personally think, as you do, Janine, that there's a lot of really fantastic stuff happening underneath by the Light and the Alliance taking out the dark, and that they are really getting desperate now because they are
Because we're waking up, and even the ones that are not awake know something isn't right, and we have to continue to stay together as a unit. You know, I'm connecting with you. I am in the United States, and you're in Australia. That is a huge bond that we are creating. You know, we're going to continue. Medina, I know that I would love to have you back here as often as you want to come back here. We'll do some roundtables. We need to really get, you know, someone from Canada, someone from Australia. So, you know, I have that song that I started out with. There was a gentleman who wrote it for me. He's in Spain. You know, there's just so much that if we could just get together, a global round table, if you will, and hold the energy, I think that would probably be one of the coolest things that I have ever done. And I would love to maybe manifest that with you. You've got a lot going on right now. You're doing documentaries, you're doing paintings, you're doing the healing work. Where's your, when do you have your downtime?
Well, I'm also aware that, you know, it's really important to just be at the moment and be in presence. But I do feel very active, I've got to say, with everything that I'm doing. I'm not sure. That's a very good question. Well, if I feel like I'm getting a little bit low in energy, I'll take time out. And I have a beautiful little puppy, and my partner, we take him for a walk. And there's this beautiful, huge avocado plantation near us. And we walked around the other day, and we found literally, you know, 30 avocados just around. We collected. So then we made a lot of guacamole.
I love guacamole.
Yeah, we'll be having guacamole for the next week.
Send me some, but make sure it's not brown by the time I get it.
But
that's fantastic. Yeah, I think it's just the little things in life that for the work that we are doing, right? It's the little things, you know, every now and then, you know, we just recently moved, and we're closer to the ocean, and I love it. And I know it's time, it's calling me, it's been calling me. And I'm going to have to start taking some more breaks, even if I just run over, you know, in one or 2 hours out of it. And people have commented to me when I go to the ocean, to the beach, and then I come back and I do a show. People are like, "What did you do?" You know, it's like, it's not a product. It's called life, sun, and water, right?
Magic ingredients. Yeah, I'm surrounded by water because I'm on an island, and it magnifies your energy as well, and it heals. And I'm sure that that's helping me with energetically with what I'm doing.
Yeah. So I've actually been trying to tell people about, you know, certain things. There's fluoride in the water, there's heavy metals, and so on and so forth. And I've run across a product. I've been testing it out. My girl Ronnie here, she is helping me understand it. I just did an awesome.
Lots of love to Ronnie.
Yes, lots of love to Ronnie, sweet Ronnie. And I'm going to have somebody make a song for her, and it's going to be called Sweet Ronnie, because I tell you that when you when you constantly are helping people, and you just don't really understand how much it affects someone, right? And we know this, and people, I have a hard time taking a compliment, any type of compliment, because I always think I could do better, and that's just part of who I am. And so when
I
somebody
can
will
relate
say,
to that, Janine. Totally.
yeah, so when
And I
somebody's,
always think, "Oh, I should be doing more."
yeah, that's my comment. I'm like, well, thank you, but I could be doing it. That's I've got a Virgo rising, so that's a perfectionist thing, but yeah. So take more time for yourself, Medina. You definitely need to do that. You are doing a lot of good work. You're a beacon of light on that side of the world. And we need to continue to, all of us, show our own light. And we're going to do this. I'm telling you, I know this is just a little YouTube channel, but our day is going to come when we're going to be able to, celebrate, and we're going to celebrate good, as long as we continue to stay together and help out our brothers and sisters. And that is just smiling at somebody, telling somebody that you love them, holding the door open for somebody. It's those little things that we've forgotten that they divided us on. And in your country, I just can't imagine. I bet you a lot of people are just, beside themselves, right? As much as they are in any bad area like of the United States. I think of San Francisco, Seattle, Washington, all these areas where people got their homes taken away from them by the government.
Yeah, the farmers here are under a lot of pressure as well, so having, land grabs and things, and, there's all sorts of things happening with people that are aware of the Constitution and wanting to change, the way that that's set up. They're being, they're saying that they're wanting to suppress the sovereign people here because they're terrorists.
Yeah.
All this sort of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot.
We're terrorists, but the people that are running in these governments, what do we call them, right? Gangsters.
Yeah, there's no name for that. Maybe I can't say it on air.
Come on, I'll give you $1. Yeah, you're right. And so I want to say this is like, is your country looking to move from whatever, they're getting away from the dollar, the petro, the fiat, excuse me, moving into the more of the golds and the silvers? You can hearing more and more about that there, at least on television, or what?
Well, I know I do, but I'm, on the alternative channels,
Yeah.
so I guess it depends, if they're still mind controlled, to be watching the mainstream media and watching television, they're not going to be getting that narrative. And there's many, many people still in Australia that are under that spell, basically, and including a lot of my family members. And for example, my mother's had 5 of these and my father's had 6. Can you believe? And they're still standing.
And they're proud. They're really proud of it, because you know what, they're I don't know what they expect out of that, but I'll send you that video and let them watch what Dr. Artis is saying about that last one. And
I don't think they'd watch it. They wouldn't even be open to watch it. And the thing is, every time I talk to them, they're off to the doctor because they've got another ailment, another medical condition. Every time, so it just goes on. But that they don't seem to connect the dots there. So there is a lot of that here. But yeah, I am hopeful that it's shifting more. Well, I did have a girlfriend that said on the same day both her parents woke up, and she went down to a local pharmacist, and she'd been talking to that pharmacist for 2 years trying to tell them what's going on, and the pharmacist said, yes, you're right, I can see what you're saying. So that was all on the same day, 3 people. So that was very, very hopeful, very promising.
Yeah, that is. And how do I put this? I'm in the same boat as you are, as far as people bragging about, getting that. Some of them had it tattooed early on, those kind of crazy things. But we still have to be protected. In there's more coming towards us, so it isn't over with. The minions are gonna keep kicking and doing whatever it is that they have to do. And I'm just going to
stay strong, isn't it? And to have a strong immune system and do everything preventative you can without going into fear, to stay on a health level, like spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, stay really strong. This is a spiritual war, and it's really important to be at your very best at the minute on all levels.
Yeah, and we all have our moments. Believe you me, when I turn off the camera and stuff like that, I have my moments and stuff like that. And I was just telling people on my show yesterday, I'm dreaming of my sister who has passed. I'm having conversations with her, and
Wow.
I've always have had that gift to talk to the loved ones that have passed. But when they come to me and they're smiling and they let me know it's going to be okay, they're kind of taking away a little bit of that fear that I have. But we still miss them. There's no doubt about it. We still miss them. And the thing is I want to tell everybody, continue to talk to them, because we have no idea who walks with us and who helps us. And when you're feeling really, really down and stuff like that, continue to talk to them. I'm telling everybody, this is my new name of my show is called Doodles, because everybody thinks I am, just way out there with all the information I'm putting out there. So if that's it, I claim it, and I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. As long as I help one person out there that is feeling sad and lonely, and if I can do something to help them, whatever it might be, I constantly tell people to write to me, send me an email, let me know. I'll hear from them. We go, correspond back and forth. It's like pen pals, and then they just kind of go away. But the energy has shifted for them, right?
Yes.
So I do as much as I can do, and then it's just basically it's just me loving humanity. That's really it, you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I can relate to that too. Just my heart goes out to everyone at the moment, because it's such a huge time, and they're master souls to be here in the first place. They've been chosen to be here, and so few people really are able to acknowledge their true mastery, that they are here, and they must be very special to be chosen to be, because many souls wanted to come in now and experience this and be part of it, and they weren't able to come here. So really acknowledge yourself for even just being here at this time. And if I could share to Janine, over the next couple of days, I'm going to be posting a video with this incredible girl who is an amazing sort of force in Australia, who goes everywhere and creates beautiful community choirs and sings. And so we're going to be doing an online songwriting workshop together, and she's talking about that in the video, which will go into our documentary. So if people want to write a song with us for the documentary, anywhere in the world, they can join and be part of this. It's a 4-week workshop, and then we're going to get singers to come and sing it, and then record a video to go in the documentary as well. So it's a beautiful way to unite and collaborate. And I think that's, what we need to do more and more when we're spiritually aligned or like-minded, come together more and more in community. And I think that's going to make such a difference.
So you want to explain about a little bit, if you have the background with the vibration of frequencies of the music and what it does to our soul?
Sure. Well, when you sing, and it doesn't matter what it sounds like, even if you're a really bad singer, when you sing, yes, music is amazing, isn't it, Amy? When you sing, the voice that goes out comes back to you and works with your energy, and it raises your frequency. And it doesn't matter what it sounds like, it's still doing that. And your voice has a particular tone that when it goes out, it's working with your energy as well. So I don't know if I explained that well enough, but it's an amazing thing it's doing. But then when you sing in a group, as a choir, in a cohesive unit, the voices that go out, they all join together in a resonance, and that resonance energetically on a soul level combines everyone, so you all feel like you're united as one. And there's that feeling of being part of the unified whole. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. It definitely does. I mean, there's only so many ways you can explain it. We all know, especially if you're an empath, you feel it, you know it. Sometimes you can't even put it into words, but it's and I bet you could paint it. I'm sure that you'll be able to paint that. So
there are all different ways of doing the same thing, aren't they? Creatively. Yeah.
So where are you doing this at? A lot of people are saying, oh, that sounds amazing. Where is there a website, or is there something you want to promote here about that?
Yes, on my website, I'm going to be putting up in the next day or so. So I'll get onto that, and I'll have a link where people can go and they can join that workshop. I'm going to be doing I've done the video with the amazing lady called OJ, she has these incredible gifts in teaching people how to write songs. And so she'll be running that, and that video is going up, I think, today sometime or tomorrow. And I've also, another funny thing that I just got guided to do too was to set up a online dating thing for singles that are in resonance, and where they don't have to talk about this, because they tell me what they've done in terms of this, and then I deal with that, and then they can connect according to whether they're in alignment with that or not. And we come together in a 90-minute gathering and just chat, and people can meet each other. So I was guided to do that. I know it sounds a bit left field, but anyway, so that's on my website as well. It's a dating one, which is I just got guidance. And again, these are all ways of coming together in community. I also have a Patreon community, which is a global community where I share information, free gifts. We have a soul mastery healing group every fortnight. So we do healing for the planet and for one another. And then I also have a community chat once a fortnight where people who perhaps feel disconnected from other people that are in alignment around them come together in this beautiful like-minded community group where we chat about what's happening in our worlds, and we feel this sense of connection, which is really beautiful and meaningful, because there are many people out there that feel isolated at the moment. So I've got a lot of different things on my website, so please go there, everyone, and check it out.
Yeah, definitely a lot of things out here. As you guys saw, a lot of her healing work is right here: life balance, past life healing, emotional and mental health, transmuting fears and obstacles, manifesting your work and your life purposes, relationship issues, your inner child issues, and much more. Let's see what else I was going to ask you about that. Going back to that dating stuff. So there's a lot of people out there, and you tell me what your thoughts are on this. There are a lot of people out there, and I do attract a lot of the older community, but they're afraid to meet somebody, especially if they've had so they, then they say, well, there's sites out there for that, for, the ones that have not had it, but they're just not trusting it. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that that's very true. It's added another level of complication to the whole dating thing. And a lot of people, when you first meet someone, you don't necessarily want to have that conversation about their, medical health situation. It's awkward. So, I take that out of it by them. They fill out a questionnaire, and then I deal with that, and then they can just enjoy people's energy and resonate. So I do think that is a challenge for people at the moment. And like you say, you really got to use your own inner discernment about whether people are speaking the truth, I guess, isn't it? Because it's like, saying to someone about your life, and then you're trusting that they're telling you, the truth. And we're just really being tested to refine our ability to know what is true and what is not true at the minute on so many levels.
Yeah, definitely. You have a beautiful website, by the way. I wish mine looked like that. Yours is more, it's just so much, it's colorful, it's beautiful, it's abundant, and mine looks like a business one. I come from the corporate world, so I guess it's somewhat of a reflection of me. But yes, there's so much. So how do you work with this for people in the United States that want to set up the consultations? You're probably out. Do you work with a lot of people in the United States?
Absolutely, yes. A lot of clients from the United States. So, in fact, I really resonate with American. I've got quite a few American friends, and I really resonate with the energies there. You're the I am race. When you use that, you can change the words around. You're the I am race, which is really powerful. And so I have a link on my shop page for sessions where people can book a session or mentoring if they want to work for 6 weeks with me. I love working with people from all over the world, actually. And I also have got workshops that I run. So people that have amazing work can contact me about if they have amazing workshops, and I can put them out there if I resonate with them. There was a guy I was working with, a UK healer called Ian Welsh, and he does incredible revolutionary work that nobody else is doing. In fact, also working with pine cones. Pine cones are incredible. If you've ever done any looking into what pine cones do, and so I was running his workshops, but we've run quite a few of them. They're all booked out too, and now I'm selling his videos, which are incredible levels of training for the ascension process, and they have activations, upgrades, and attunements in them, and some incredible practices to do as well. And those have had them amazing results with people. So they're also videos that you can access on my website that are really, really incredible.
Holy cow, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot out there. And I know that you enjoy it. It keeps you busy. So you're finding love for everybody else. You're finding the healing. What are you finding the same things? Are you helping yourself with your own journey, or is that your journey is to help humanity?
Well, I think they go hand in hand in a sense. I try to be as joyful as I can and do things for myself that raise my frequency. For example, when you step into your soul mission, it really raises your frequency. And doing the documentary is my next stage of my soul mission, because I've had a book published. I've got 6 books on my website.
Oh, you do? I didn't see that. What are they?
Well, Hilarious Poems, a pun on hilarious, is a poem about all different aspects of life, and that was published by a publisher quite a few years ago, and I did a tour to promote that, and but anyway, so that's one aspect. I've had radio shows, community radio shows. I had a show actually in California, healthylifenetwork.com, which was I had that for a year, and I was connecting with a lot of American people through that, and it was based in California. A beautiful lady ran that called Linda, and so this documentary is an evolution of all those things, and even the YouTube channel that I've been doing. And when you step into your higher soul mission, you get so excited. And I just came off filming 5 days location shooting for the documentary with some incredible leaders in Australia that are doing amazing things, and you can imagine the energy of that. And we went to all these beautiful location shoots, like a waterfall and things, and oh my God, I had the time of my life. It was so brilliant. I just absolutely loved it. So that's keeping my energy high, doing that, being in my soul mission with that. I've got a lovely partner. I've got a beautiful puppy that gives me lots of kisses. And I try to spend time in nature, with the avocado farm and everything. So, I'm trying to have a balance as much as I can, while also being, I really feel activated. For many years there, I was doing sessions with people and things, but I was thinking, I want to do more. I want to have a bigger platform. And now, thank you, Divine. I've been given a bit of a bigger platform to work with more people, and I'm very grateful. And I'm really striving to make the most of helping this in my own small way, helping the transition with everything as much as I can. And
the reason why I actually asked that is because we have to find the balance, right? It can't be all work, even though a lot of people do enjoy their work, as I do. And I've constantly got to tell myself, so when I start to feel my energy is depleting, is that I've given my power away a little bit too much, or what is driving me to do that? And so then I make a conscious choice to push people out, on the schedules, move them out, rescheduling people and stuff like that. And everybody is really understandable. I'll tell you, I came off of a year of doing Akashic record readings, 90-minute readings, and I would do 5 of them a day. And that was when I realized I can't do that anymore. I did it when I was in my 30s, and I'm not in my 30s anymore. But it is a lot, of channeling. It's a lot of the channeling, and I love being in that. But my husband will always tell me that I'm very. He can tell when I did a reading in the Akashic records because of my energy. But then it just goes, and then basically telling me it's time to rest. And that's why I was asking you. You're finding the time. You're finding the balance and everything else. And that's a message for everybody else out there too. If you're constantly,
yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but you're right. That is so important to be aware of what's going on with your energy. I have a Healy, a little quantum frequency healing device, and I do that as well, when I need to. And, I'll do things according to my energy, and reading my own energy, and saying what I need. Maybe I'm a bit low and I have extra vitamin C, or, there's different things that you can do when you listen to your body and you ask your body. You can have a communication channel with your body where you say, what do you need at the moment? What's going to really serve you? Might just be sleep.
Yeah.
Might be some salts bath. I love those baths because they're energetically, they're clearing the cellular level, and then putting beautiful energy into the water. There's always something lovely that you can do for yourself to help your energy.
Yeah, definitely. There is so much out there. And I think we're getting ready to wrap this up. If anybody has any questions that you want to ask, this is the first time, so there's usually not a lot of questions, but we'll have you back again. And Medina, please feel free to use that link to schedule if you want to come back and give us an update on what it is that you've been doing. Because, oh my gosh, everything that you're doing, but you're out and about. You're balancing yourself with your pyramid there, so on and so forth. Please take care of yourself because you're so needed. And I know that you're doing a lot of good things right now for Australia. And we have to honor ourselves, right? And honor our bodies, our mind, and our soul. Let's see here. Anything you want to share with everybody before we leave?
Well, I just think that a really strong message at the moment is, there's a lot of negative stuff out there, a lot of fear porn, even on Telegram, a lot of things like that. There's different people that are saying that we might have this now, but the future something can happen, all that sort of stuff. But I think the important thing really is to, in this very moment now that you're in the energy that you're in now, it's to focus on being in the highest potential frequency you can, in your highest joy, and in your presence, your beingness, your oneness with all things, and being 100% here right now.
How does one person do that? Is it you have to find it all on an individual? With me, I turn on music. I'll sync my phone up to the sound bar, and I'll have the music on, and I just feel really, really good. And the next thing you know, I'm cleaning, and I'm moving. I'm moving with the vacuum cleaner, that type of thing. And then I'll say, okay, work is done. Got to get out of the house, right, and enjoy everything.
Yes.
But I think it is something different for everybody on an individual level. But I always tell everyone, do something a little bit different today than you did yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true too. I mean, even going for a walk in the other direction, not the same way, because it creates new neural pathways and it shifts things energetically. But I think you're right that for everyone, it's a different thing. Some people might be cooking, some gardening, whatever you do that you get, that soul feeling like it's soul food, nutrition at a soul level, what raises your frequency. It might be, a beautiful person that you speak to, that every time you speak to them, you feel fantastic,
Yeah.
Just make sure that you prioritize those things at the moment, because there's never been a more important time to focus on self-care and self-nurturing. And even though I'm doing
for women, we're talking to women specifically at this point, because women tend to give a lot of themselves, and that's my belief system.
Yeah, that's true. But men too, they're everyone's going through so much, and not only individually, but at the collective level, and all the energies, and it's quite up and down energetically. So you want to try and stabilize your energetic field. Putting your feet on earth, being in nature is always so important. Yeah, and I just think that if you can give to the collective, you need to make sure your cup's full first. So you want to tune in and make sure that you are feeling nurtured and full before you start giving away, because otherwise you're just going to get depleted. So tune into your own inner cup and see where you're at with that. Is it a quarter full? Is it a half full? Is it empty? Is it, and if you're getting near fullness with your own inner cup, then, you can step out and do other things, I think, for people, but you don't want to deplete your energy.
Yeah, and then that is removing yourself from toxic people. If you feel yourself go from a high to a low, just kind of redo your circle of friends, if you will, if it's friends or family. And it can be family more times than not. So I just want to throw in a little bit of a plug here for my website, turnthepage.social. I've already got 2 interviews out there that are very much things that cannot be on this particular channel. And if you want to go out there and subscribe to it, Dr. Artis is really talking about the new thing that's coming along. And
It's
also
amazing.
Scott Shara, who's basically, they murdered his daughter, and he's talking about the whole gamut. It wasn't really, he's tying together, if you will, what happened to his daughter in 21. The New York governor, Cuomo, with the nursing homes, and also the hospitals. So you guys, you got to see the second one out there. Eventually, when I've got 2 more doctors coming out, I'm going to bundle this all up and put it out on Rumble. But we're out on Rumble right now, and so I just wanted to let everybody know this. Please go over to turnthepage.social. And just watch some of the stuff, get educated on it, especially if you're in your 60s, because it's going to affect, and Scott verified what Dr. Artis is saying about the older people in these in this wacky world of what they call doctors. And I hope that I don't get taken down just for saying that, but you never know. Thank you so much for being here, Medina. I totally enjoy this. And please stay in touch with me. We're on this app here, and to let me know what's going on. And if you have something that you want to promote and share with the world, let's do it.
Fantastic. Oh, thank you, Janine. It's been such a joy to chat with you. I loved every minute. And I'd love to connect again soon. That'd be fantastic.
Yes, you're just a beautiful soul, and I appreciate it too. And I had a lot of fun. Take care, everybody, and have a good evening. And I think there was some information out there on this guy here tonight. If you guys haven't seen it already, you can catch the replay somewhere. Take care. Love you, Medina. And now we turn the page. Good night, everybody.
Love to everyone. Bye.